What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back to Endure, Believe, Rise. I hope this message reaches you in good energy. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. I wanted to share with you guys a conversation that I had a few days ago with a gentleman and elder gentleman and one of my superiors. And when I say elder, you don't always have to have somebody who's older than you in age. Sometimes they can just be older than you in experience. But this guy, he was definitely older than me in age. And this is going to be a challenge that I'm going to issue to you at the end of this video. So me and this guy, I was helping him out with a few things. He needed my assistance, and as I'm helping him out and fixing all the issues that he's giving me to take care of, he tells me, his birth. He was born in, I think, 1964, something like that, and we were talking about the 70s, and we got to talking about a few things in the 70s, and he's like, I can't remember anything from the 70s. And I told him, I said, well, I can. Remember, not from the 70s. So I wasn't alive in the 70s. I was born in 87. I'm telling my age, so forgive me, right? But anyway, from the earlier years, from the 90s, from the early 2000s, because, me being an 80s baby, being born in 87, I lived through I grew up in the 90s, lived through the early 2000s and so forth and like that. And I told him, I said, I can remember stuff from the earlier days, but unfortunately, a lot of it's just traumatic stuff. And he says, yeah, I agree with you then. We had to finish our business included, and I feel bad because I didn't get a chance to share this with him, even though he's, an elderly person being born in 64, right? But this doesn't mean that it wouldn't help him. And this is knowledge that's going to help everybody. So what I did a few years ago is I started a book, a journal. And as you can see, my Hunter x Hunter stickers, one of my favorite animes ever. Shout out to Hunter x Hunter, creator of Hunter x Hunter. He's also the creator of Yu Yu Hakusho, one of the greatest animes ever. But I digress. This is not what that this video is about. So anyway, it's not unique that I started a journal. What's unique about this journal is this journal will only have happy memories in it. I will not put anything in this journal but times where I am feeling joy, happiness, success, exuberation, all of these over the moon emotions that make life worth living. And it's not to say that the traumatic experiences don't make life worth living, but it's just like a rainy day when you prefer sunshine. It's just like a hot, brutal day when you prefer summer downpours. You need the contrast to know, right? So what I'm getting at is I have challenged myself every time I have in a day that's just freaking awesome to make sure that I journal that day down, that I take pictures on that day, that I print those pictures out, and that I keep them in this journal. So this journal doesn't just have the day; it has what we did, how I was feeling. I wish to have it again, and then it has some pictures in there, stapled sometimes, taped sometimes to those pages, so that I can vividly remember those days. And that's my challenge to you guys. Create yourself a happy book. I call it my happy book. That's what I call it. I want to think of a better name from it. I want to think of a more epic name for it. So for all you guys who are very active on my page, feel free to drop in the comments, what do you think the name of our happy book should be? But that's what the book is about. It's about those emotions and those moments, those achievements. It can be yesterday. I went out with a friend, and we went to a new restaurant and we tried it out. And when we were outside, and this friend, she always pulls it out of me. And what I mean by is like the conversations are always hours and lengths long. If we have a 1 hour conversation, then that's a short conversation. It's usually 2 or 3 hours anyway. So when this person pulls it out of me, this friend, we have these conversations. Anyway, we're having a conversation, and this guy walks up and he says, "Woo, you got some heat on your feet right now." And he tells his son, "Look at those shoes." And I said, "Oh man, I appreciate you." I start, doing my, oh man, and I look at his shoes and I'm like, "Man, you got some heat on you." And he with his wife and his son, I says, "Y'all all got some heat on." He says, "I appreciate you. You see how I hustle, I keep it." And we had a moment there, right? And even his wife was smiling, like she knew, like, Look at these guys. And then my friend, she was smiling like, oh, here we go, right? So me and him, we had a moment, and that went in my happy book. That to me was one of the best moments in moments like that in my life because I don't know that man. I've never met that man. I may never meet that man again. But the king took time to tell me that he sees me shining, that he sees the jewels in my crown, that he appreciates it. And I got to reciprocate because not only was he shining, he had his whole family shining. And that's what you're supposed to do, right? Take care of those around you, right? And it was just an awesome moment, man. And I want to share that moment with you guys. And I wanted to share the idea of a happy book. Now, I also want to say it's okay to journal the bad stuff because you have to process every single emotion, right? And I have a bad book too, but I stopped putting so much in there because I'll go back and read that bad book and it'll put me in a mental place that I don't want to be in. And then the rest of the week, I'm walking around in a bad state. So, what I was taught, you should write that stuff down and then burn that page, right? So that you can process it. But I'm not telling you what to do. We can talk about that process another time. What I want to make sure is when we get old, when we get 70, 80, 90 years old, we don't just remember the trauma. The trauma is going to stain the carpet anyway. But let's remember the times that we decided we cleaned it up, we did the best we could, and we threw a party the next day anyway. With those stains on the rugs, with the curtains messed up, with the paint chipped on the wall, we still had a good time. Because we're always going to be able to see that paint, that chip paint. We're always going to see that messed up carpet. But we're going to forget the fact that we overcame that we decided to move on, that we had some good damn times in those good damn years. And it wasn't all bad, no matter how many people want to tell us that it was. Create you a happy book today. Create you a book that reminds you of the times and the things that you did, and that the people that were there for you, and the glorious times that you felt energy and joy and exuberation. You know, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Again, this is mine. I decided to decorate it with Hunter x Hunter. You can decide to put pictures of your family on there, of your dog, of other stickers. You could just leave it blank and write happy book on it or nothing at all. But it also has Dutch Bros on it because I'm got an addiction, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. But that's my challenge for the day is to make you a happy book. All right, guys. I need you to take care of yourselves. Please be kind to one another. You keep me in your prayers, I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.